Part 1. Fantasy Villain System. Author, Tian's Lieutenant. Chapter 1. In an extremely majestic hall, the appliances inside are extremely luxurious. It is obvious that the owner here has an extraordinary status. In the room, a young man stood in front of the window with his hands behind his hands. He was wearing a purple robe trimmed with golden silk. There was a golden dragon swimming on the robe, and it seemed to contain the stars in the sky. He was very noble. The young man's face is like a crown jade, his demeanor is graceful, his eyes are like bright stars, and he has a crown of glory. Anyone who sees it will secretly praise this handsome man. It's just that the young man's eyebrows were slightly frowned, and there was a hint of confusion in his star-like eyes. Me, have I traveled through time? The young man's name is Qin Ting. In his previous life, he was just an ordinary person. His only hobby was to read fantasy online articles. He often dreamed that he traveled to a fantasy world. For some reason, he woke up and traveled to this world this time. After the confusion, he became excited. In his previous life, he was just an ordinary person with no father, no mother, and no worries. Now he has traveled to this body. Isn't this what he dreams of? Qin Ting closed his eyes and carefully watched the body of his predecessor. Memory fragments. After a long time, he opened his eyes, were a little excited. It turned out that this body was also named Qin Ting, but to his surprise, the predecessor was neither from a poor family, with a useless talent, nor was he a bastard from a rich family, so he was looked down upon. It's about being born noble and having a smooth life. Qin Ting, born in the Qin family, an ancient cultivating family, is now a true disciple of Xiantian sect, one of the holy cultivation places in the eastern wasteland. Unrivaled in talent, Qin Ting stepped into the realm of the divine will 2 years ago at the age of 16 and became the leader of the younger generation of the Xiantian sect. What's more, he is carrying a divine body, the Zikan divine body that comes only once in 1,000 years. The various mysteries of the Zikan divine body will not be detailed here. His father, Emperor Qin, was a giant of the Xiantian section. His realm was unpredictable and his disciples were all the geniuses of the world. Qin Ting was secretly excited. His starting point in this life was so high. Could it be that he was going to be the invincible stream? Suddenly, there was a ding in my mind. Ding, the villain system is activated. Ding, the villain system is successfully bound to the host. Qin Ting was overjoyed. It is said that the world is huge and the system is the largest. With the system by his side, he will have no worries in the future. Is this the name of the system, the villain system? Wait, I am the villain? It seems that Qin Ting heard thinking in his mind. The system's mechanical voice said the host is a villain in this world. The main task of the host is to defeat the original son of destiny, plunder the destiny, and obtain villain points. The road to becoming an invincible villain. Qin Ting couldn't help but smile bitterly. It turned out that he was a villain, but it's quite touching when I think about it. Bullying men and women, the more you resist, the more excited I become? Why do I get more and more excited the more I think about it? Am I really suitable to be a villain? Qin Ting asked system, what is the use of the villain value? The system replied, the villain value can be exchanged for precious elixirs, exercises, spiritual plants, and magic weapons in the system. Every time the villain value reaches 10W, it can be used once lottery. Now that the system is bound to the host for the first time, it will give you a free lottery opportunity. Does the host want to use it now? Qin Ting said without hesitation, use it immediately. As soon as he finished speaking, a big carousel appeared in Qin Ting's mind. After rapid rotation, the pointer pointed to an elixir-like item. Ding, congratulations to the host for drawing the elixir, Wu Yun Dan. Looking at the elixir that appeared on his hand, Qin Ting couldn't help but take a breath. Naturally, he had heard of the name Wu Yun Dan. It is extremely effective and is known as the realm-breaking elixir. After taking it, you can increase your cultivation level immediately. Break through a realm. Although there are other elixirs that also have this effect, the wonderful thing about Wuundan is that there are no sequelae at all. The refining of Wuundan is very difficult, and the materials required are extremely precious. It is in Xiantian sect, this kind of elixir is also very rare. Even as Qin Ting's true disciple, he can't use it whenever he wants. Just as he was thinking about it. The system dinged again. Ding, current mission, know your enemy and yourself, and you will never be defeated in 100 battles. Learn the details of your opponent Yechu. Completing the mission rewards villain points, 5,000 points. The mission has been released, and the reward for villain value is 5,000 points. If the Wuun pill just exchanged for villain value, it would cost 50,000 points. It seems that I still have a long way to go. Yechu. Qin Ting searched his memory carefully. Gradually, Yechu appeared in Qin Ting's mind. Yechu seemed to be from a small border country within the Xiantian sect's power. 3 months ago, the rare treasure 5 colorful dew was discovered in a historic site, Shenyu Valley. Qin Ting led a team to fight for it on the Xiantian sect side. Qin Ting met Yechu and his party in Chinayu Valley. At that time, Qin Ting saw that a girl next to Yechu was quite talented, and he started to love talents, so he asked the girl if she would like to follow him and act as a maid. The girl agreed at that time, but Yechu blocked her in every possible way, and even attacked Qin Ting. Qin Ting naturally looked down on such an ant at that time, and one of his followers defeated him. At that time, Yechu roared angrily, 30 years to the east of the river, 30 years to the west of the river. Today's humiliation will be repaid 100 times in the future. Thinking about it now, this Yechu is probably the son of luck in this world, right? After thinking for a while, Qin Ting waved his hand. A man in black robes suddenly appeared in the main hall. He bowed his head and saluted. I have seen you, master. Qin Ting knew from his memory that his father, Emperor Qin, trained some death guards for him. They were all orphans and taught them how to practice. The quick success method makes rapid progress in the initial stage, but it will exhaust one's own potential, and basically there is no hope of entering the divine palace realm in this life. These death guards are only loyal to Qin Ting and are Qin Ting's personal force. Some of the dirty jobs that are inconvenient for Qin Ting are handled by these death guards. And this man is the commander of the death guard, Nayu, a master of the Shentai realm. Qin Ting ordered send the order to find out the information about Yechu. I want all the information from his birth to the present. Nayu obviously also has some impressions of Yechu. That day, it was him he took action and severely injured Yechu. Nayu said, Master, since this person has offended the master, why don't I send someone to kill him? Qin Ting said flatly, no need. Just find out his information. Although Nayu didn't know, he also don't ask too much. Nodding in agreement, he bowed and left. As a death guard, you only need to strictly implement Qin Ting's orders. Nayu's question just now was just to share Qin Ting's worries. In his opinion, although this Yechu had some skills and could take one of his moves without dying, that was all. Compared with the young master, like the light of a grain of rice and the brightness of the bright moon, the young master really does not need to waste his energy on such ants, but now that the young master has spoken, he will strictly implement the young master's orders. After Nayu retreated, Qin Ting sent his men to assassinate the Son of Destiny without sneering, to give him experience. First, he sent his younger brother to gain some reputation for the protagonist, and then he personally took action to challenge the protagonist. In the decisive battle, he had the upper hand at first, turning on the villain's multi-talk mode, and later used his trump card to counter-attack the protagonist. Create the protagonist's reputation. In the later stage, the family forces behind you will also jump out and give the protagonist another big gift package to help the protagonist reach the peak of life. He would never make such a stupid mistake. If you know your enemy and yourself, you can fight 100 battles without danger. Hitting a snake 7 inches away, Qin Ting knew very well that this kind of lucky child has a strong attribute. If he cannot be beaten to death at one time, it will become more and more difficult in the future. He must be fully prepared, complete his victory in one battle, and only then can he feel at ease if he succeeds in one blow. Now, the first thing Qin Ting has to do is to refine the 5 Yun Dan and break through to the magical realm. In this world, strength is still respected after all. Reading books on May Day is a joy. Fantasy Villain System. Author, Tian's Lieutenant. Chapter 2. In this world, the realm of cultivation is divided into 9 realms, namely the body forging realm, the spiritual realm, the Yuan Dan realm, the divine will realm, the magical power realm, the divine platform realm, the divine palace realm, the virtual god realm, and the transformed spirit realm. Among them, the Shenlun realm is a watershed. Many people are stuck in the Yuan Dan realm and want to take one step but cannot. In most sects, those in the Shenlun realm can serve as elders. Some small sects have leaders who are in the magical realm. Once you reach the Shentai realm, you can become famous and become a guest of many forces. Once you reach the divine palace realm, you can become the overlord of one party. But above the virtual god realm, there are some extremely powerful people, and usually the dragons see their heads but not their tails. Qin Ting's father is a powerful person in the virtual god realm. The world respects him as Emperor Qin, but as for the real name of Emperor Qin, no one knows. Some good people speculate that Emperor Qin has already half-stepped the threshold of the realm of god transformation, but Emperor Qin has not made a move for 100 years. There are really different opinions on the specific situation. As for Qin Ting, he entered the divine will realm at the age of 18. It can be said that he has peerless talent, not to mention possessing the Zikan divine body, and there is a high demand within the Xiantian sect to become the holy son of the Xiantian section. If one can break through to the realm of supernatural power with the help of Wu Yun Dan, I believe it will be able to silence some people who secretly oppose it. Qin Ting looked at the Wu Yun Dan in his hand and said in a loud voice, "Go down, I want to retreat." Someone immediately came back from outside the hall. "Yes, young master." Qin Ting sat cross-legged on the jade training platform in the center of the hall, swallowed the Wuyun pill. In an instant, a powerful spiritual energy filled his danshan. Although this spiritual energy is very huge, it is like a breeze and not strong. Qin Ting knew that this was the magic of Wuyun Dan. He began to close his eyes and quietly refine this spiritual energy. 1 month later, Qin Ting opened his eyes with a look of satisfaction. The 5 Yun pills were truly worthy of their reputation. He successfully refined the spiritual energy contained in the elixir and broke through to the magical realm, but he showed no signs of instability in his realm. "What a good thing," Qin Ting sighed. "The desire for villain value in my heart is getting stronger and stronger." Qin Ting asked in his mind system, "Is there any other way to obtain the villain value besides tasks?" The clear mechanical voice of the system replied, "In addition to tasks, the system will occasionally release some temporary tasks, and there will be rewards after completion. Villain value rewards. In addition, if the host's usual behavior is judged by the system to be in line with villain behavior, there will also be villain value rewards." Qin Ting nodded with satisfaction. It seems that if he wants to become stronger, he must become a sinister villain. This feels really good. Qin Ting opened the palace door and walked out. Outside the hall, there is a jade palace. The entire palace is built on a mountain range. The mountain range contains several times more spiritual energy than the outside world. It is a blessed land for cultivation. And this entire mountain range belongs to Qin Ting. There were hundreds of people in the palace, all maids, attendants, and guards of Qin Ting. responsible for taking care of Qin Ting's daily life. He has been a servant of the Qin family from his ancestors and is worthy of trust. Na Yu, on the other hand, was standing at the door outside the palace. Seeing Qin Ting coming out, his eyes were filled with joy and he saluted Sir. Before Qin Ting could say anything, Na Yu felt Qin Ting's cultivation and said in surprise, Sir, have you broken through to the magical realm? Qin Ting also said a little. Feeling proud, he nodded in agreement. Na Yu said happily, young master is very talented and will definitely become a legend in the future. The master of the family will also be happy when he finds out. Qin Ting said, okay, let's not say any polite words. Since you are waiting here, Yechiu must have. Did you get the news? Na Yu smiled and said, that's right, we found out the information about Yechiu. Yechiu was born in Qingcheng, a small border country in Fukuo, and was born into the Ye family, one of the 4 major families in Qingcheng. His talent was astonishing when he was young. He reached the body forging realm at the age of 8, and reached the great perfection of the body forging realm at the age of 10. But for some unknown reason, his cultivation level declined instead of increasing during the 5 years between the ages of 11 and 16. He fell to the 7th stage of physical training and started to explode the year before last. In 1 year, he entered the spiritual realm and helped his family become the largest family in Qingcheng. Then he went to the capital of Fu State and became famous. According to legend, Qian Yuanzong invited him to become a disciple, but he was rejected. The Qian Yuan sect is also a holy land for cultivation in the eastern wasteland. Although it is not as good as the Xiantian sect, it should not be underestimated. Qin Ting thought for a while and suddenly said, how is Lu Susu doing now? Lu Susu, Yechiu's childhood sweetheart, was adopted as a maid by Qin Ting that day in Chinayu Valley. Na Yu said Miss Lu is practicing in the back hall, and according to your instructions, the young master, I will pass on the fantasy scroll to her. Give me the Moon Ning Dan. Miss Liu's talent is really good, she has broken through to the Yuan Dan realm a few days ago. Na Yu hesitated for a moment and said, Sir, there is one more thing. Song Changa is out of seclusion. Qin Ting's eyes narrowed. Song Changa, also a true disciple of the Xiantian sect, has always been at odds with Qin Ting. He fought with Qin Ting half a year ago and was defeated by Qin Ting. After being defeated by Qin Ting, he announced that he would retreat. The day he came out of seclusion would be the time to avenge his shame. Na Yu said he asked someone to come down. I've received the battle invitation, and I'll see you on the sword discussing stage 3 days later. But young master, you have already stepped into the realm of supernatural powers. It seems that Song Changa will be trampled hard by young master again. Qin Ting smiled slightly. You dared to challenge me just after you came out of seclusion. It seems that you have made a lot of preparations. Na Yu bowed his head and said, according to detectives, someone gave him a magic weapon. Who exactly it is still being investigated below. Qin Ting thought for a while and said quietly, it seems that some people can't wait any longer. Na Yu asked, do you want to make some preparations, Qin? Ting fluttered his sleeves and said coldly, no, I want to see who in the sect dares to oppose me. After this incident, I should be able to see that they are inseparable. It seems that I was too low-key these days. Some people forget about the pain after their scars heal. Na Yu looked at Qin Ting's domineering look and was sincerely convinced. He bowed his head and said, I am willing to die for the young master. Reading books on May Day will be great. Recharge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Grab a deposit now. Activity time, April 29th to May 3rd. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy Villain System. Author, Tian's Lieutenant. Chapter 3. Xiantian sect is located in the center of the Eastern Baron. Its aura concentration is the highest in the Eastern Baron, and it has the potential to be the first Holy Land in the Eastern Baron. The Xiantian sect, which has always been peaceful, has become turbulent recently. Did you hear that? Senior brother Song Changa recently came out of seclusion, and he was called upon to compete with senior brother Qin Ting on the sword discussion stage. No, wasn't this senior brother Song Changa defeated by senior brother Qin Ting half a year ago? Are you coming again this time? What do you know? I heard that senior brother Song Changa had achieved a breakthrough in the realm of magical power during this retreat. After all, senior brother Qin Ting was still in the junior level and was still in the divine will realm. This is a different level. Naturally, this is a good opportunity to avenge previous shame. But I'm not sure yet, the level of supernatural power is not so easy to break through. After all, senior brother Song is only in his 30s. However, the two senior brothers are both true disciples, and their martial arts and magical powers are among the best in the world. No matter what, this competition will be a battle between dragons and tigers. Certain. We must go and watch this time. Observing the moves of such masters will be of great benefit to ourselves. It's extreme, it's extreme. No matter how the outside world talks about it, Qin Ting's heart is as calm as water. Although Song Changa is not simple, he has excellent talent. He practices the heavenly level skills and the secret code of reincarnation of the Great Sunday. He has profound cultivation and powerful magical powers. But Qin Ting did not regard him as the biggest opponent in Xiantian section, but he is a true disciple after all, and Qin Ting will not take him lightly. 3 days flew by. On this day, Lunjiantai was crowded with people, and even some elders brought their disciples to watch. Once you come, you can teach your disciples and open their eyes. It is not common for such figures to compete for supremacy. Second time hey, maybe the Taoist and magical powers of these two geniuses have inspired them. Of course, this kind of thing is not enough for outsiders. Not only the elders came forward, but also several true disciples of Shenlong who had never been seen before. Except for Zhang Zongbei, who never walked around, all the other true disciples were present. After all, Song Changa is a veteran true disciple with profound cultivation, while Qin Ting is a genius who has become very popular in recent years. Watching these geniuses fight against each other is also very beneficial to them. Look, senior brother Feng and senior brother Luo are here. Senior sister Zhou and senior sister Li are also here. It seems that except for senior brother Zhang, all the other true disciples have arrived. Everyone exclaimed, several true disciples gathered together. This is a sight that has not been seen for many years. And the presence of these true disciples gave this private fight an even more grand event feeling. Senior brother Luo, who do you think will win, senior brother Song or junior brother Qin? The person who spoke was a white-haired man with a smile in his eyes, but his eyes were as unwavering as ice for thousands of years. It was the true disciple Feng Qinhan. The man called senior brother Luo was a man dressed in black and carrying a sword. His name is Luo Yuan. He smiled slightly. Senior brother Song and junior brother Qin are both outstanding figures in the world. I really can't say for sure, but I see that junior brother Qin accepted the invitation so readily, so it seems that he is somewhat sure. Feng Qinhan laughed. I think senior brother Song has a better chance of winning. Senior brother Luo, why don't we make a bet? Oh? Luo Yuan glanced at Feng Qinhan with a half smile, and said, I wonder what junior brother Feng wants to bet on. Feng. Qinhan stared at Luo Yuan and said word by word, if senior brother Song wins, how about asking senior brother Luo to part with me the colorful glazed flower? The colorful glazed flower is a magical medicine, extremely precious. It was obtained by Luo Yuan in a chance encounter, but he didn't know how Feng Qinhan found out about it. Luo Yuan squinted his eyes. Then junior brother Ruo Qin. Before he could finish his words, Feng Qinhan said loudly, if junior brother Qin wins, I will offer the small heavenly transformation sword formation with both hands. The little heavenly transformation sword formation. This is a secret treasure, and its allure to a swordsman like Luo Yuan is self-evident. Luo Yuan laughed and said it's settled. While everyone was discussing, the sun in the sky suddenly shined brightly, stinging people and almost unable to open their eyes, like daylight in the polar regions. Suddenly the light dissipated, and the sword discussion platform I don't know when a man appeared on the mountain. The man was about 20 or 30 years old, wearing a red gold robe, shining brightly. It was Song Chang'e, a true disciple of the Xiantian sect. Song Chang'e practiced the Great Sun Reincarnation sacred scripture, and this skill Dharma can resonate with the sun, so when Song Chang'e came to the sword discussion platform just now, it caused this strange phenomenon in the world. Its senior brother Song Chang'e. What he practices is the heaven-level technique, the Great Sun Reincarnation scripture. This resonated with heaven and earth. It seems that senior brother Song's technique has reached the mystical level. Senior brother Song is indeed a genius, he has reached this level of cultivation in less than 30 years. Now senior brother Qin is in trouble. Song Chang'e felt satisfied when he heard the exclamations from the crowd in the distance. Since his last defeat at Qinting, his reputation within the sect has plummeted. Before retreating this time, he not only asked his master for the Eden, but he even asked for a magic weapon from that person without any dignity. Successfully broke through to the magical realm. He immediately challenged Qinting to avenge his previous humiliation. Qinting, you are extremely talented and possess the Zikan divine body. Today I will trample you under my feet, humiliate you in front of the boss, and destroy your Taoist heart. As for the consequences of doing this, he didn't care, not to mention that his master was the powerful elder in the sect, not to mention that man also said that he would block the Qin family's revenge for him. Only that person is the most qualified to become the holy son of Xiantian section. Let me kick away this stumbling block to Qinting. I don't know who shouted senior brother Qinting is here. Everyone heard the sound and ran away, only to see a man walking in the sky on the horizon. Wearing a purple robe and a gilded crown, he looks like an immortal descending to earth. It is Qinting. When he first looked at it, it was still far away in the horizon. When he looked at it again, he was very close to him. In the blink of an eye, he was already standing on the sword discussion stage. Seeing this scene, some disciples with low cultivation levels even had splitting headaches and felt extremely uncomfortable. Although Qinting's entrance was not as earth-shattering as Song Chang'e's, it caused strange phenomena in the world. But this magical power that shrunk to an inch has a bit more Taoyuan. The elders looked at each other seriously and praised in their hearts, this boy is amazing. The true disciples also had serious expressions on their faces and were cautious in their hearts. Song Chang'e's previous vision of heaven and earth was just ordinary in their eyes, but Qinting gave them a vague sense of oppression. This junior brother Qin is becoming more and more difficult to see through. Reading books on May Day is a joy. Fantasy Villain System. Author, Tian's Lieutenant. Chapter 4. Song Chang'e looked at Qinting in front of him and secretly sneered in his heart, pretend to be a ghost. But he was also a little frightened. The scene just now made even him feel a little dizzy when he looked at it. But thinking that he had entered the magical realm, he felt at ease again. Qinting, Qinting, no matter how wonderful your Taoist skills are, you will still be filled with hatred under my magical power. Song Chang'e was the first to laugh and said, Junior brother Qin, the battle that day opened brother Yu's eyes, and I also retreated to seek a breakthrough. I also gained a little from this retreat, brother Yu, and I can't wait to exchange Taoism with you, junior brother. Qinting smiled and said, this is the best. To be honest, I was worried that the last attack was too heavy and broke your Taoist heart, senior brother. Now it seems that senior brother, you are still so brave and fearless. Junior brother, I am relieved. Song Changa, his face darkened and he sneered, "Junior brother is still so sharp-tongued, but this kind of fighting is not just about talking." Qin Ting glanced at Song Changa indifferently and said, "It seems that the lesson I gave to senior brother last time was not enough. It just so happens that I have gained a lot recently, so I bothered my senior brother to help me practice my moves." When Song Changa heard this, he secretly resented it and sneered. 9 divine wheels appeared between the eyebrows. The 9 divine wheels were all shining with golden light. Each of them contained an extremely powerful Taoist method. A scorching sun appeared behind Song Changa. The brilliance and majesty are just the sacrifices to the great sun reincarnation sacred scripture. Everyone in the audience exclaimed, "9 paths divine wheel." Senior brother Song has really cultivated to the divine wheel realm, but I don't know if he has entered the divine power realm as rumored. Song Changa sneered, "I advise junior brother Qin to admit defeat." "Come on, this sword discussion does not matter life or death on the stage. If I accidentally hurt my junior brother Daiji, then Xiantian sect will lose a talented person." These words are extremely vicious. If Qin Ting admits defeat in public, it will only he is afraid that Qin Ting will have inner demons in his life, and it will be difficult to advance one step further in this life. If he does not admit defeat, then Song Changa will have a heavy hand, and others will not be able to say anything. After all, Song Changa has already warned him. Qin Ting smiled and said, "I don't bother you, senior brother, just let your horse come over." This was what Song Changa was waiting for. As soon as he finished speaking, he let out a long roar and his black hair flew. His eyes contained divine light, and the magic of the 9 divine wheels roared out, extremely powerful. Each Taoist law is transformed by Genki, like a stream of flames, suppressing the heaven and earth. He has been practicing the great sun reincarnation scripture since he was a child. The Taoist teachings all contain the true energy of the sun, and today is the day of the solstice. This trend is really shaking the world. What if it is the end of the world? Such figures are worthy of being the true disciples of Xiantian sect, selected from thousands of disciples. Both in terms of strength and cultivation, they are far superior to those of the same level. Song Changa is worthy of being the favorite disciple of Genren Yuri Fengli. He is a proficient practitioner of the Great Sun Flame Seal. It is true that the waves behind the Yangtze River push the waves ahead. An elder's eyes lit up and he praised. The disciples around him nodded and said, "Senior brother Song's Great Sun Flame Seal is indeed very powerful. It is exactly the style that a talented person of our Xiantian sect should have." Feng Qianhan watched with a smile as Song Changa blasted out this spell, waiting for Qin Ting to be knocked to the ground and humiliated. He had always disliked this junior brother Qin, remembering that Feng Qianhan had suffered so much in order to become a true disciple. Suffering all the way. Qin Ting passed the test and beheaded the generals. But Qin Ting was directly given the title of true disciple just because he had a divine body and was the descendant of Emperor Qin. He was very jealous. This time Qin Ting was about to be humiliated, and Feng Qianhan was very happy. "Senior brother Luo, it seems that I will accept your colorful glazed flowers." Junior brother Feng Qianhan turned his head and smiled at Luo Yuan. Luo Yuan looked at the sword discussion platform and said with a smile, "The winner has not yet been determined, so junior brother is too impatient." Feng Qian laughed coldly and stopped talking. Qin Ting stood still until Song Changa's 9 flame streams rushed in front of him, then he stretched out a finger and tapped lightly. Wow! The 9 flame streams disintegrated instantly, turned into ashes and scattered in the air. Song Changa's body was shaken, and his eyes showed an unbelievable look. Suddenly, he felt like he was hit hard, and he stepped back dozens of steps to resolve the force. Feng Qianhan's smile didn't disappear, and his face immediately changed. It was hard to look at. Song Changa was shocked and angry. Before he could react, Qin Ting made a move and struck down a palm from a distance. This palm was so powerful that it had the potential to embrace the moon and the setting sun. The palm lines turned into various shapes. Taoism. Like a rune avenue, it suddenly came down. Song Changa roared and tried his best to run the technique. His whole body was like a sun god. He formed seals with his hands, and a fiery red sword energy rose into the sky, turning into a sword palace. Inside there were dozens of figures operating the sword formation, and suddenly the sky was filled with sword energy, swarming across the sky, cutting through the void, like a fire dragon, unpredictable. But as soon as the sword palace formation encountered the giant spiritual energy palm, it instantly collapsed and turned into the void. In the blink of an eye, both sides passed dozens of moves. But compared to Song Changa's embarrassing posture of retreating and vomiting blood at every turn, Qin Ting appeared to be more at ease, relaxed and comfortable. Everyone in the audience was shocked. From Song Changa's invincible posture at the beginning, to his defeat now after all, it was only a very short period of time. Some elders close to the Qin family were greatly comforted as expected of the son of Emperor Qin. With such power, he is as powerful as a young emperor. On the stage, Song Changa, with disheveled clothes and disheveled hair, said bitterly, "Junior brother Qin, you are indeed amazing, but that's the end of it." After saying that, a divine palace appeared in the center of his eyebrows, and another magical power appeared in the divine palace. The waves cracked the shore, like a doomsday scene. And Song Changa also had his hair flying, and his eyes were like flames, transforming into an ancient demon. This magical power turned into a magic sword. Extremely powerful, far beyond the Taoist skills that Song Changa had displayed before. The giant palm that Qin Ting had transformed into was instantly broken, turned into spiritual energy, and disappeared into the air. Supernatural power. It's magical power. Song Changa really stepped into the realm of supernatural powers. Oh my God! A powerful man with magical powers who is less than 40 years old. Everyone in the audience went crazy. Although it is said that Song Changa has entered the realm of supernatural powers, the rumors are just rumors after all. Now that I have seen it with my own eyes, I am really shocked. A person with such powerful powers who is less than 40 years old is really a genius that is rare to see in hundreds of years. You don't know how many people are stuck in the divine will and cannot advance. There are countless monks who are still stuck in the divine will when they are 100 or 200 years old. Fantasy Villain System. Author, Tian's Lieutenant. Chapter 5. Magical power is a unique skill that can only be displayed by those who are above the level of magical power. The wonders of magical power are far beyond the ordinary Taoist moves. The magical power that Song Changa displayed was the Sky Sword, one of the 3 magical powers in Yuri Peak. The magical power was extremely magical and unpredictable. Although Qin Ting had suppressed Song Changa before, as soon as Song Changa's magical power came out, everyone immediately stopped thinking highly of Qin Ting. Although Qin Ting is a genius of the world and has amazing fighting power, it is not difficult to fight beyond his level. But the realm of magical powers can be said to be a watershed. Once you reach the realm of magical powers, it is a qualitative change. There is even a saying that all those with supernatural powers are like ants. Song Changa's thoughts moved and he used the Sky Sword again. The magic sword turned into 7749 sword chi. Each sword chi was extremely sharp, with the potential to break mountains and seas, and rushed towards Qin Ting from all directions. Qin Ting formed a seal with his hands, and ice walls appeared out of thin air in front of him. But the ice wall was broken instantly by the magic sword, and it couldn't stop even a little bit of time. Qin Ting shouted low, and a divine will emerged between Qin Ting's eyebrows, turning into a 9-story building. Enveloping Qin Ting, the heavenly vault magic sword fell on the tall building. The power of the tall building suddenly exploded. With a bang, the heavenly vault magic sword was actually blocked by the tall building. And the tall buildings were shattered into pieces and dissipated invisible. Everyone in the audience was shocked. One disciple murmured, "So strong, senior brother Qin is so strong." Song Changa's face was gloomy. He didn't expect that even with his magical power, he could not suppress Qin Ting at all. Listening to the uproar of the people in the distance, he was already riding a tiger and it was hard to get off. If he stopped here, he would no longer have any prestige in the section, said. Song Changa roared in his heart, "You forced me to do this." Song Changa glanced at Qin Ting hatefully, and a formation diagram appeared in the center of his eyebrows. When the formation diagram was unfolded, it turned into thousands of mountains and rivers, and the cycle of the sun and the moon. Qin Ting was instantly sucked into the formation diagram, as if he was in the body. In another world. Song Changa shook the formation diagram. In the diagram, the sky collapsed and the earth shattered, and the sun and moon disappeared. Everything in the diagram was about to disappear. An elder suddenly stood up and exclaimed, "Magic weapon! The magic weapon is an extremely powerful magic weapon. It cannot be activated unless you are in the magical power realm, but the magic weapon is extremely precious. Not to mention the magical power realm, even the powerful ones in the divine platform and shrine realm may not have a magic weapon. Even Song Changa's master Li Jinren, as the master of the lineage, only has 2 or 3 magic weapons, but not including this array magic weapon." Several true disciples in the audience also stood up, with solemn expressions, and exchanged glances with each other. No one knows where this magic weapon came from, but these true disciples know it. It stands to reason that Qin Ting seems to be in danger and should stop the fight, but the expression of the law enforcement elder next to the sword discussion platform changes, but he does not do anything processing. Just quietly watching Qin Ting in the formation diagram. "Senior brother Zhang, it turns out to be you." Although Qin Ting is in the picture, like a duckweed, he can perish at any time, but there is no panic on his face. He looked at the picture and smiled. Qin Ting lowered his head and laughed softly. "I will accompany Song Changa, a loser. After playing for so long, you finally forced it out." Zhang Zongbei, the eldest brother of Xiantian section, less than 100 years after joining, he is already a strong man in the realm of Shenton. His talent is so high that it is rare in the world. At that time, he was almost the designated holy son, but after Qin Ting was born, he shone brightly. It was covered up a lot. He kept a low profile and didn't fight with Qin Ting. He didn't usually go out and walk around. He didn't come to watch the ceremony this time. Instead, he announced that he was in retreat. Unexpectedly, he wanted to take advantage of Song Changa's supernatural power breakthrough this time. With the power of the situation, he used Song Changa's hand to suppress Qin Ting. Qin Ting's eyes turned cold. Now that he knew who was behind the scenes, Song Changa was useless. Qin Ting shook his hands, and the ground in the formation diagram, the mountain, was shaking as if time had stopped. With a casual stroke, the world of the array was torn apart by him. Qin Ting leisurely walked out of the array. And the array also lost its power. Turned into a pattern, and was taken into Qin Ting's hands to play with. "This is impossible." Song Changa's eyes were split open. He had used all his cards, and he did not hesitate to expose his relationship with senior brother Zhang and sacrifice the magic weapon of the array. Qin Ting was able to break it so easily. How could he accept it? The sect members in the audience were also extremely shocked. That was a magic weapon. Every magic weapon had the power to change the world, but was it destroyed by Qin Ting? Feng Qianhan's face was extremely solemn, and he couldn't see through Qin Ting's move. What was even more terrifying was that, the Taoist methods that Qin Ting has used so far are all common Taoist methods within the Xiantian sect, but they are surprisingly powerful. This shows that Qin Ting has mastered these Taoist methods, and has the vague image of a young master. Suddenly, Feng Qianhan thought of a possibility. Feng Qianhan turned to look at Luo Yuan and found that Luo Yuan was also thinking a little. The two looked at each other and saw disbelief in each other's eyes. Could it be that Qin Ting has already Qin Ting looked at Song Changa with a smile and said with a smile, "Senior brother, you are so majestic, but that's all." After saying that, Qin Ting's momentum suddenly exploded, and the stars around him were bright and dreamlike, and the audience couldn't help but feel excited. The young disciple's eyes were filled with brilliance and admiration. Song Changa felt Qin Ting's momentum and looked ugly. "I know that I am afraid that it will be difficult for me to be kind today." Suddenly he seemed to feel something. His expression was first filled with surprise and then disbelief. "You have reached the magical realm? How is this possible? This is impossible!" Everyone in the audience roared. Before I had just woken up from the shock of Qin Ting's magic weapon being instantly destroyed, I heard such explosive news, that is, Qin Ting, at the age of 18, had entered the magical realm. One disciple stammered, "God, divine power realm. Really? The magical realm of 18 years old?" The other disciples looked at the elders and found that their faces were solemn and filled with disbelief. I finally believed this fact. Qin Ting, a true disciple of the Xiantian sect, was in the magical power realm at the age of 18. After the elders were shocked, they all remembered a terrible fact. In the entire eastern wasteland, it has been recorded throughout the ages that Qin Ting is the only person who advanced to the magical realm under the age of 20. Even Emperor Qin, the father of Qin Ting, entered the magical realm at the age of 20. Thinking of this, all the elders took a deep breath. Then he was overjoyed. "With such an outstanding genius, our Xiantian sect is going to be prosperous." For a moment, there was a deathly silence in the audience, and everyone was shocked. Feng Qinhan and other true disciples were also overwhelmed. They didn't care about Song Changa's magical power, which relied on drugs to break through. The foundation was not solid and it was not a concern. However, Qin Ting's power in Taoism clearly has a very solid foundation. Luo Yuan let out a breath and sighed in admiration. "Junior brother Qin Ting, you are amazing. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment." Fantasy Villain System. Author, Tian's Lieutenant. Chapter 6. Qin Ting's face was as calm as ever, and his eyes were indifferent, as if a god or demon had descended. He lifted his right hand into the air, and the entire sky suddenly turned into a night scene, with a crescent moon rising slowly in the sky, majestic and dreamlike. Qin Ting's right hand reached towards the moon, and a shadow of an arm appeared in the sky. Everyone saw a big hand as white as jade rising into the sky, reaching for the new moon. This scene was so spectacular that the big hand stretched for countless thousands of miles and landed directly on the crescent moon, gently embracing it as if it were gently holding the bright moon into its chest. Everyone in the audience exclaimed, "The hand holding the moon. It's a magical power. Senior brother Qin really is in the realm of magical powers." The bright moon was grasped by the big hand, and it actually got closer and closer to the ground, and its falling speed became faster and faster. Song Changa saw the moon above his leader getting bigger and bigger, getting closer and closer to him, and the fear in his heart got bigger and bigger, and he couldn't muster up any courage to fight. Song Changa gritted his teeth and wanted to admit defeat. Although it would be embarrassing to admit defeat, he would have no prestige in the sect from now on, and it is estimated that even his master would no longer value him, but at least he could save his life. After Song Changa thought about it, he gritted his teeth and said, "I admit." Qin Ting's eyes narrowed and he sneered, "Want to admit defeat? Late." The momentum soared into the sky, and the air on the sword discussion stage seemed to freeze. Song Changa could not say another word. Song Changa stood there fixedly, watching the moon above his head getting bigger and bigger. His heart was filled with despair, fear and regret filled his body. Why did I jump out to fight with Qin Ting? Over the years, Qin Ting has been making waves in the sect, and the other true disciples have backed down one after another. Even senior brother Zhang avoided Qin Ting's aggressive approach, and Feng Qinhan dared not speak out against Qin Ting. Why is he so obsessed with Qin Ting? At this time, Elder Zhang, the law enforcement elder who had been quiet on the sidelines, suddenly shouted, "That's enough. Song Chang'e has given up, let's just let it go." Qin Ting heard this and sneered. Previously, he had concealed his clumsiness and was in danger in the formation. Elder Zhang didn't say a word. Song Chang'e was already ruined in front of him, so he came out to be a peacemaker. No way. Not only did the magical power not stop, but it pushed Minjiao faster and faster. Elder Zhang did not expect that Qin Ting would not stop after he spoke out, but would actually kill Song Chang'e on the spot. I felt great hatred in my heart because I favored Zhang Zongbei and took care of Song Chang'e on the stage. But he didn't expect Song Chang'e to be such a loser, who already had magical powers and magical weapons, and would be defeated by Qin Ting. He also didn't expect that Qin Ting would be such a monster, entering the magical realm at the age of 18. Elder Zhang saw that the bright moon was about to fall to the ground, and he knew that he might not be able to survive if he didn't take action. He yelled, "How presumptuous! Do you want to kill fellow disciples in full view of the sect?" After saying that, Elder Zhang raised his hands, and a pair of big hands appeared on the sword discussion platform, facing the bright moon, trying to kill the bright moon. Hold on. But what he didn't expect was that after holding Mingyu in his big hand, Mingyu only paused slightly. Immediately, his magical power holding hand began to shatter, turning into runes and shadows and dissipating in the air. Everyone in the audience was even more shocked. You must know that although Elder Zhang is also in the magical power realm, he has been immersed in the magical power realm for many years. He is also a well-known strong man of the older generation. Elder Zhang himself could not stop Qin Ting in the slightest. The disciples in the audience looked at Qin Ting in awe, as if they respected him like a god. And the female disciples' eyes were filled with brilliance. Qin Ting not only has a rich family background, but he is also such a proud person. How can he not make people fall in love with him? The bright moon also came to Song Chang'e's head, but was interrupted by Elder Zhang, and Song Chang'e regained some courage. Song Chang'e looked crazy and tried his best to run his skills. A phalan appeared above him to block the bright moon. But as soon as it touched the bright moon, phalan turned into nothingness. Song Chang'e was swallowed up by the bright moon, and then the sword discussion platform was crushed by the bright moon, forming a huge crater. You must know that the entire sword discussion platform is made of heavenly black stone, which is extremely hard. And Qin Ting smashed a big hole into the sword discussion platform with one magical power, holding the moon in his hand, which shows how powerful it is. The breeze blows and the bright moon slowly disappears. Song Chang'e is already living and dying in the huge pit. Qin Ting glanced at Song Chang'e indifferently. Although he was blocked by Elder Zhang, he could not kill Song Chang'e. But Song Chang'e also suffered a heavy blow, and he was afraid that if he could no longer improve his cultivation in this life, he would be a useless person. Elder Zhang's face was extremely ugly. He didn't expect that even though he took action personally, he still failed to save Song Chang'e. He looked at Qin Ting bitterly and said in a deep voice, "Qin Ting, you are so brave, you dare to seriously injure a fellow true disciple in front of the boss. Come with me back to the law enforcement court for trial." Qin Ting smiled and said, "Elder Zhang, I'm afraid that I'm confused, so senior brother Song sent me a battle post. The post said that no matter life or death, you will be responsible for the consequences. I'm afraid Xiantian sect knows this. There is nothing to say that senior brother Song is inferior to others. As for taking me back to the law enforcement court on trial." Qin Ting's tone suddenly turned cold, and he sneered, "Are you worthy?" Fantasy Villain System. Author, Tian's Lieutenant. Chapter 7. Elder Zhang's face was extremely ugly. He didn't expect that Qin Ting didn't care at all about his identity as a law enforcement elder. Because of the high position of the law enforcement elder, he has always been arrogant and domineering. Not to mention the disciples who dare not speak out against him, even some outer sect elders also criticize him. Watching him eat this time, many people laughed secretly in their hearts. Elder Zhang heard the people around him laughing in low voices, and felt extremely hateful in his heart. Although he knew that Qin Ting's status was extremely valuable, his father, Emperor Qin, was a powerful figure in the Void God realm and one of the powerful faces of the Xiantian sect. And Qin Ting is even more outstanding, having entered the magical realm at the age of 18. It can almost be said that the position of the Holy Sun belongs to him, but since he is involved in the battle for the Holy Sun, there is no way out. How did Song Chang'e become useless? He said he lost in the battle, but wasn't it actually because he participated in the battle for the Holy Sun? Now that we have embarked on this road, we can only go to the dark side. Otherwise, when Qin Ting ascends to the position of Holy Sun, will he still have his own fruit to enjoy? We can only rely on this opportunity to bring Qin Ting back to the law enforcement court and concoct charges, otherwise everything will be over when Emperor Qin comes out of confinement. Elder Zhang thought of this, gritted his teeth and said severely injuring a fellow disciple is a heinous crime. Both humans and gods are angry. Qin Ting, please come with me. Before he finished speaking, he grabbed Qin Ting with the palm. The palm turned into the palm of a huge god. The palm was so huge that all kinds of Taoist runes flew around it, almost tearing open the space around Qin Ting. When he thought about it, Qin Ting had just entered the magical realm not long ago. I'm not yet proficient in the magical power. Although I didn't block Qin Ting's magical power before, I just underestimated the enemy and hit him casually. This time he used all his strength to capture Qin Ting. Wasn't it already within reach? Qin Ting watched Elder Zhang take action and sneered. This person had been secretly targeting him before, and now it seemed that he had already taken refuge with senior brother Zhang Zhongbai Zhang. In this case, he has already crippled a true disciple, so he doesn't mind severely injuring another law enforcement elder. Qin Ting's expression did not change, a hint of sarcasm flashed in his eyes, and he took a step forward, and his whole body suddenly became aura countless times stronger. He stretched out his hand and grasped the void, bursting out with thunder. Punch away, the fist rubs against the air, and the air begins to explode. Countless thunders burst out, and the thunder rolls, as terrifying as divine punishment and damnation. This punch can be said to be overwhelming. The magical power of Elder Zhang's giant hand collapsed at the first touch and turned into nothingness. However, the power of this punch did not diminish, and it blasted towards Elder Sun. Elder Sun's expression changed drastically. He felt great pressure. He might be shattered by this punch. How can it be? I am a strong person in the late stage of magical power. Elder Zhang roared in his heart, and his whole body was full of momentum. Countless patterns condensed around his body, turning into a big cauldron of green light to protect him. An elder in the audience exclaimed Hunyuan Cauldron. This is Elder Zhang's trump card. Hunyuan Cauldron is an extremely powerful defensive magical power, and it is also the stunt that Elder Zhang became famous for. With this defensive magical power, Elder Zhang has weathered many crises. I didn't expect to be forced out by Qin Ting today. This punch hit the cauldron in an instant, with a bang. The big cauldron was instantly shattered into pieces, turned into various Dao patterns, and dissipated in the air. Elder Zhang only felt an unimaginable force coming from him. He vomited blood in his mouth and flew out involuntarily. It hit the ground with a loud bang, and the flesh and blood all around exploded into pieces and turned into blood mist. Elder Zhang looked at Qin Ting with disbelief in his eyes. He actually couldn't make a single move in Qin Ting's hands. Not only him, but everyone in the audience was also speechless. Qin Ting gave them too much shock today. First, he suppressed Song Chang'e forcefully, then he showed his magical power, and now he severely injured the law enforcement elder, Elder Zhang. You must know that Elder Zhang has also been immersed in the realm of magical powers for nearly 100 years, and his cultivation of magical powers is extremely powerful. Ordinary powerful people who have just broken through to the Shentai realm will not be able to do well in his hands. As a result, Qin Ting couldn't make a move even though he was the first to make the move. They knew that Qin Ting was the genius of the world and the leader of the young generation of Xiantian section, but they still didn't expect Qin Ting to be such a monster, which was beyond their knowledge. Looking at the sluggish Elder Zhang on the stage, everyone had an unreal feeling. Some older elders recalled and thought carefully, it seems that Emperor Qin did not have such power back then, right? An elder murmured to himself, who can compete with such a person in 100 years? Fantasy Villain System. Author, Tian's Lieutenant. Chapter 8. After Qin Ting severely wounded Elder Zhang with one blow, he did not strike again. After all, Elder Zhang is a sect elder and a law enforcement elder. Killing him would be too disrespectful to the section. Although Qin Ting is not afraid of the consequences of doing this, it is still a bit troublesome after all. Besides, the meridians in Elder Zhang's body have been destroyed by his Divine Thunder secret method. Not to mention whether he can recover his cultivation level, this old boy is lucky if he can not fall into the realm. Snort. Who is more important, an elder with no potential or an 18-year-old genius with magical powers? It goes without saying. It is estimated that Elder Zhang's position as the law enforcement elder has become unstable after this incident. For a person who is no longer a law enforcement elder, especially a loser who has offended so many people in the past, does he still need to say what the consequences will be? Even if it is to please Qin Ting, many people will deal with this Elder Zhang. Elder Zhang also thought about this level, lying on the ground with a pale face. Several disciples stepped forward to lift him and the unconscious Song Chang up to the Alchemy Academy for treatment. They didn't even say a harsh word, as if they were dead. Seeing Elder Zhang's devastated appearance, no one sympathized with him. Everyone is not blind. Everyone saw Elder Zhang's deliberate behavior against Qin Ting before. Now that he has ended up like this, it can only be said that he brought it upon himself. Even some elders and disciples who have been bullied by Elder Zhang are thinking about how to take revenge on Elder Zhang in the future. Qin Ting's mind moved, and he heard a ding in his mind, and the system's emotionless voice appeared. Detecting the behavior of the host, destroying fellow disciples, seriously injuring senior elders, and complying with the villain behavior determined by the system, the villain value will be rewarded with 25,000 points. Qin Ting was overjoyed. He didn't expect this matter to have such benefits. Although he had a reason for severely injuring Song Chang and Elder Zhang. However, in the eyes of the system, severely injuring fellow seniors is a villainous act. It seems that he can make good use of this. You can benefit from it and gain villain points, so why not do it? While Qin Ting was thinking about it, the people around him gathered around and greeted Qin Ting one after another. The disciples were sincerely convinced, and many disciples even stated clearly that he was the Holy Son. It must be Qin Ting. And those elders who have always been aloof and unfaithful to others are also smiling at this time, smiling and praising Qin Ting's talent. Anyway, the meaning behind their words is that they belong to Xiantian section in the future. Qin Ting will carry the cauldron. Qin Ting also responded to everyone with a smile, chatting and laughing. Everyone felt like a spring breeze, and many disciples almost became Qin Ting's crazy fans. At this time, those true disciples also came over. When the others saw this, they bowed and left wisely. Luo Yuan first smiled and said, "Junior brother Qin is so majestic. Brother Yu is really convinced today." Feng Qinhan smiled and said nothing, but if you observe carefully, you can see that his smile is a bit stiff. Feng Qinhan was depressed in his heart. He didn't expect Song Chang'e to be such a waste, and he didn't expect that Elder Zhang was not the enemy of Qin Ting. Although he has not taken refuge in Zhangzongbei, he is happy to see Zhangzongbei's attack on Qin Ting. What's more, this time he has to lose to a secret treasure small heavenly sword formation in Luyuan, and his heart is bleeding just thinking about it. One of the true disciples Zhou Pingyu said with a smile, senior brother Luo is of course convinced. He defeated senior brother Feng's Xiaoshan a sword formation. Oh, Qin Ting turned his eyes and looked at Feng Qinhan. Feng Qinhan forced a smile and said, it's just a bonus, I should celebrate for my junior brother. He secretly hated Zhou Pingyu for talking too much. Qin Ting said with a smile, senior brother Feng used the small heaven sword formation, I wonder what kind of bonus senior brother Luo used. Luo Yuan smiled slightly and said, it's the elixir that brother you accidentally obtained in a secret realm before, the colorful glazed flower. Qin Ting couldn't help but feel slightly moved. The colorful glazed flower is also a spiritual elixir. It is of great use, and its preciousness lies in the Xiaotian sword formation. Zhou Pingyu smiled again and said, senior brother Feng also smells it. Name him. If you want to get the colorful glazed flower, it seems that senior brother Feng is not far away from breaking through to the Shentai realm. Feng Qinhan glanced at Zhou Pingyu hatefully. If you target me today, I will settle the score with you tomorrow. Qin Ting's eyes moved and he suddenly smiled. It seems that senior brother Feng is very concerned about senior brother Luo. It seems that senior brother Luo is very concerned. Many people in Hidden Sword Peak have a very good relationship with senior brother Feng, which is really enviable to others. Luo Yuan smiled for a moment, as if he was thoughtful, and took a deep look at Feng Qinhan. Then he smiled and said, junior brother Qin is joking. Qin Ting smiled slightly and said nothing about this matter. After this incident, senior brother Luo was afraid that he would break up with Feng Qinhan. Feng Qinhan's face turned ugly as expected, and he forced a smile. I have something else to do, so I'll take my leave first. After that, he walked away. At this time, Qin Ting heard the systematic voice in his mind ding. It is detected that the host is instigating dissension between fellow disciples, which is consistent with villain behavior. The villain will be rewarded with 5,000 points. Qin Ting secretly said as expected. The system will not pay attention to the starting point of Qin Ting's actions. As long as it is a villain's behavior on the surface, he will be rewarded with villain points. It seems that I am going further and further on the road of villain, Qin Ting thought silently. At this time, another true disciple, Li Juning, who had been silent until now, said softly, what is junior brother Qin's last move? Juning has never seen it before, and it doesn't seem to be the magical power of Xiantian section Qin. Ting smiled and said it's a superficial magical power created by junior brother, which made senior sister laugh. If senior sister doesn't dislike it, junior brother is willing to go to senior sister's Linglong pavilion to show it to senior sister. Li Juning nodded slightly and said, thank you so much, junior brother. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy Villain System. Author, Tian's Lieutenant. Chapter 9. After Qin Ting chatted and laughed with everyone for a while, he agreed on a time and then left, turning into a rainbow and flying towards his spiritual peak. As soon as he landed, Naiyu, who had been waiting for a long time, stepped forward with a smile and prostrated himself, bowing and saying, Master, He 11 is so mighty that he has boundless power. He is so powerful in Xiantian. The surrounding guards and maids also prostrated themselves and bowed and said, Master, He 11 is so mighty that he has no bounds, powerful Xiantian. Qin Ting smiled slightly, they are just two ants, but I found out the person behind the scenes. Naiyu's eyes narrowed. Could it be? Qin Ting nodded and said, that's right. Naiyu said coldly, I thought that this person had stopped and gave up honestly, but I didn't expect that he was still restless. Qin Ting smiled and said, haha, the Holy Sun who was originally safe. How can you feel at ease when your position is taken away? Don't worry, since you jumped out, it will be much easier now. You nodded in agreement. If his son doesn't care, then he doesn't need to care. His confidence in Qin Ting, its blind fanaticism. Na Yu calmed down and said, one more thing, sir, Yechu has appeared. Qin Ting raised his eyebrows. Oh. Xiantian sect, an unknown spiritual peak. A man in white was lying on a wicker chair with his eyes closed at the door of a thatched cottage, basking in the sun. He has a simple face and a certain flavor of his own. It looks so relaxing. If it were seen by outsiders, who would believe that this person was Zhang Bei, the senior brother of Xiantian sect? Zhang Bei is only over 40 years old this year. He is still a young man in Ziyuj Henzhen's long life, and he is already a powerful person in the Shentai realm. Not only did this person advance very quickly, but what was even more frightening was that he could master Taoism, magic and magical powers in a short time. An ancestor of the Xiantian sect once commented privately that he had the image of a young master, who was so popular back then that he was almost the presumptive holy son. It's a pity that Qin Ting soared into the sky later, entering the divine will at the age of 16, and reaching the peak of the divine will at the age of 18. The light also covered up Zhang Bei, and Zhang Bei also avoided his edge and did not compete with Qin Ting. Even now, the disciples who have just entered the Xiantian sect only know that there is Qin but not Zhang. Zhang Bei's expression moved slightly, he stretched out his palm, and a jade talisman appeared in his palm. He looked at the jade talisman and saw a message appearing on it. Qin Ting stepped into the magical realm, Song Chang'e was deposed, and Elder Zhang was seriously injured by a blow. Zhang Bei read the news with an expressionless expression, his face slightly gloomy. He was still a little anxious. The magic weapon he lent to Song Chang'e not only did not help him suppress Qin Ting, but also exposed himself in advance. And Qin Ting's progress, the speed also made him a little frightened. He entered the divine will realm at the age of 16 and stepped into the divine power realm at the age of 18. The speed of cultivation made him feel a little unbelievable, and it also made the shadow in his heart grow bigger and bigger. Qin Ting, although he is extremely outstanding, Zhang Bei is also confident that he can fight with him, but the most terrifying thing is the person behind Qin Ting, the father of Qin Ting, the patriarch of the Qin clan, Emperor Qin. Not only is this person's cultivation weak, mighty God, the top figure in the entire eastern wilderness, with extraordinary skills and scheming, he can be called a tycoon. In recent years, more and more elders in the sect have either openly or secretly defected to his Qin family. This mysterious Tianzong is almost half Qin. And what about Zhang Bei? When his master Suandaozun was alive, he could compete with the Qin family. Suandaozun was also a powerful virtual god with many disciples and old officials. Xiantian sect. But ever since his master, Zhang Bei, who ascended to the position of Holy Son and died in the realm of divine transformation in order to protect him at the end of his life, the power he can use has become less and less. His master, the incense left behind, is also used once and less. Just like this time when he used the powerful elder of the law enforcement UN, Elder Zhang, the senior officials of the law enforcement UN acquiesced. But Zhang Bei knew that after this incident, the law enforcement UN would return to neutrality. From his position, the favor owed to his lineage by Xiandaozun has been paid off. Haha, it won't be long before the poor guy like Elder Zhang will be expelled from the law enforcement court, right? Zhang Bei let out a breath and said to himself, it seems that I have to make preparations early. Reading books on May Day is a joy. Fantasy Villain System. Author, Tian's Lieutenant. Chapter 10. Na Yu said there was a strange phenomenon in the sky in the Lianyun Mountains a few days ago. It was suspected that a strange treasure was born. All the sects sent their disciples there one after another. Our people discovered Yechu in the Lianyun Mountains. According to the young master's instructions, we did not alert the snake. And immediately conveyed the news back. Qin Ting nodded, with the power of a vision from heaven and earth, it seems to be no ordinary treasure. It is normal for various sects to go looking for and compete for them. After all, the treasures bred by heaven and earth, whether they are magic weapons or elixirs, are extraordinary and are of great significance to every sect. Even a behemoth like the Xiantian sect would not take it lightly. Sending out disciples is one way to seize treasures and the other is to train the disciples. Na Yu paused and said, then Yechu seems to be traveling with Mu King Ai, the daughter of the Jianyuan sect's leader. Qin Ting's eyes narrowed, Mu King Ai. Mu King Ai is the only daughter of Mu Fang, the leader of the Jianyuan section. She is also a genius. She has entered the realm of the divine will at the age of 17 and is also the leader of the younger generation of the Jianyuan sect. This woman is famous not only for her magical abilities, but also for being the dream goddess of many young men in the eastern wasteland. She is extremely beautiful and is called Fairy Mu by those who do good things. Qin Ting couldn't help but he was indeed a son of luck. If he remembered correctly, Yechu had rejected the Jianyuan sect in public before. This was equivalent to a slap in the face in public. Someone else would have been killed by the Jianyuan sect so many times. As a result, not only was Yechu okay, but he hooked up with the daughter of the head teacher. Even Qin Ting couldn't help but be a little envious of this kind of luck. However, Qin Ting was even more greedy for Yechu's luck. If I can deprive this person of his luck, then who can rival me if I have both a system and luck? Qin Ting thought for a while and decided to go to the Lianyun Mountains himself. The son of luck is so unbelievable that Qin Ting cannot trust him if he is left to someone else. In his mind, Song Changa and Feng Qianhan were just like ants, not worth mentioning. Zhangzongbei is just a scabies disease. A grasshopper after autumn cannot jump around for a few days. But Yechu was different. He was familiar with internet articles in his previous life and knew how powerful the Son of Destiny was. He could escape from any desperate situation in front of the Son of Destiny. He could be called an invincible Xiaoqiang. Qin Ting asked, have our disciples been sent out? Na Yu replied, the disciples have been selected, but the person who will lead the team has not yet been determined. Most of the true disciples are busy, and Song Changa was originally chosen, but, Na Yu smiled and said, Song Changa has been deposed by the young master, so naturally there is no way to talk about this matter. Qin Ting nodded slightly. Generally speaking, such sudden visions of heaven and earth are caused by young disciples of various sections go out to practice, and then the talented disciples of each sect will lead the team to ensure safety. But now, several true disciples of Xiantian sect are busy, and Song Changa was defeated in the battle and became a useless person. Although the elders can lead the team, and safety is guaranteed, the momentum will inevitably be weakened, and it may not sound good if it is spoken out. Qin Ting made a decision and ordered, tell the sect that I will go personally for this trip to the Lianyun Mountains. Na Yu bowed and said, yes. After Na Yu retreated, Qin Ting thought in his mind after entering the summoning system, he wanted to meet Yechu for a while, and he also had to make some preparations. Immediately, a panel appeared in front of Qin Ting. Qin Ting looked at his villain value. He received the 5,000 points awarded to Yechu for completing the investigation at the beginning, plus the 25,000 points awarded to him for seriously injuring Song Changa and Elder Zhang, and the 5,000 points awarded to him for inciting discord between Luo Yuan and Feng Qianhan. Now has 35,000 villain points. See what you can redeem now. Qin Ting looked at the system's mall panel carefully. Long Quan Sword, a top-grade spiritual weapon. After the sword is completed, looking down at the sword body is like climbing a high mountain and looking down into the abyss. It is ethereal and deep, as if there is a giant dragon lying on its back. The required villain value is 29,000 points. No, although the high-grade spiritual soldiers are considered good, if Qin Ting was still in the Shenlun realm, the Long Quan sword would still be of some use, but now that Qin Ting has broken through to the magical power realm, this high-grade spiritual soldiers are a bit useless. In the future, they can be redeemed as rewards for their subordinates, Qin Ting thought to himself. Black armor and golden clothes, a defensive spiritual weapon, can absorb a full blow from a powerful person in the divine palace realm. Qin Ting's eyes lit up, this thing is good. It can save your own life at a critical moment. Although the purple star robe I am wearing is also a good defensive robe, it is still far inferior to this black armor gold robe. Required villain value, 24W. Qin Ting is embarrassed, it's too expensive. Qin Ting was silent, I'm sorry, I'm not bad enough. The concentrating pill has the effect of concentrating the mind and reassuring the soul. The villain value required is 6,000, so it is not needed. Fire cloud fruit can increase your own fire power after eating it. The required villain value is 15,000 points, so you can't use it. Qin Ting looked around and found that his villain value was in an awkward range. Neither up nor down, the villains that Qin Ting can like are not worth enough, and Qin Ting can't like the ones that can be exchanged, so he is extremely helpless. Suddenly, Qin Ting discovered something. A random spirit beast egg will produce a spirit beast immediately after hatching. The required villain value is 30,000 points. Random spirit beast eggs? Qin Ting thought for a while, and it was definitely it. If a high-level spiritual beast randomly emerges, then Qin Ting will make a profit. If a piece of garbage is hatched, 30,000 villain points are not much, and it will be useless if it is used up. Big discount on reading books during Dragon Boat Festival.